What is up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast episode number 81. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today it's just a two-person show. I'm joined by Mr. Physical Copy himself, Ethan. How are you doing, buddy?
It's just you and me today, Kev. Dumb and Dumber. We're gonna hold it.
Whoa!
I'm dumber.
Okay,
Right.
all right, but listen, I think. I don't want to make the other guys feel bad, but I think we might be the two smartest people on the show.
That's true. And I see Alpaca Tom in the chat. You know,
Alpaca Tom.
he's not talking crap yet, but just give it a second.
Well, remember, everyone, if you do like this podcast, we are live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and now Twitch at the same time, simulcasting across all live streaming platforms. So if you like Twitch better, maybe you can go over there and watch us. Now that you don't have to use YouTube. I know Twitch, you can minimize the screen on your phone, walk around with it, just hear the audio. It's a good time. So head on over to twitch.tv/Project XTalk.
You're gonna have to get used to that.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/Project XTalk. Drop us a follow so you know when we go live. Maybe some live streams. We've been doing them on YouTube, but going forward, everything's gonna be here as well. So if you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on your favorite podcast service. So while you're over there, please drop us a review and a rating. It really does help us grow, and we appreciate it. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we will read it live on the show. If you want to interact with us more, join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. And if you want early access to all of our content except the live podcast, head on over to patreon.com/projectxtalk. And for $1 a month, you get all of our content early, plus the Patreon shout out. So shout out to Bucky Blue, Hopple, and Alpaca Tom for supporting us. We appreciate you all. Now, that's housekeeping out of the way. So as we do every week here on Project XTalk, we go around the room and ask one simple question. That question is, what you playing? So, Ethan, no more time wasting. We got through the rigmarole.
Yeah.
I want to know, what have you been playing this week, good sir?
So I've been playing a lot of, first of all, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga, still going through, trying 100% it. I have not stopped. We're going crazy with that. One new game that I picked up, though, is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. And oh my goodness, what a fun little game this is. This is the perfect example of a little bite-sized indie experience that Game Pass gives you. This is a game absolutely would have never have played if it wasn't for Game Pass. And it was an incredible experience. A solid 3 hours of fun. Really interesting story. It is not what you expect. I can tell you that right now. It is like it's just a bonkers game. I mean, you throw all of your expectations out the window. It's an absolute roller coaster. But I love the story. I love the gameplay. I just loved everything about it. It was fun. It was cute. And I really, really enjoyed at the end of it. After you beat like the main line mission, it kind of turns into a roguelike. You can go on this train and you basically play a roguelike. Going through dungeons and going to different, places, and enemies get harder and harder and harder and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of little secrets, little side things that you can do that you need to go out and search for yourself. You got to, remember certain things, what item goes for what. So it's not a game that holds your hand per se, but it is a pretty easy experience. But it's definitely one of those games that it's like you kind of got to think about things when you're going through the world. And I know you played it too, Kevin, and I know you want to talk about it. I hope you loved it as much as I did.
But before you get into the rest of your game, so let's stop on Turnip Boy, because I did play Turnip Boy, and my only complaint about this game is that 2 of the achievements for me are bugged, so I didn't get the 100%. Yeah.
For me, I have 4 achievements that are completely bugged. I know I met the requirements for them. I've looked it up. I've double checked. I've reloaded I've deleted my saves and gone back and done them again, and still not popping for me. So that's really disappointing as an achievement hunter, as someone that likes to get that 100%, really pain in the butt. But I'll give it a pass. It was a really fun experience.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm missing 2. That's my only complaint. So I went into this game no expectations. I didn't even know what type of game it was.
No idea.
Turns out, everyone, this is a Zelda clone. And I'm
Yes,
talking
that's
NES Zelda. Like you
yeah.
literally you get told, go here, find this object, come back to me. So that's the whole game. There's like 5 areas. You go off in a certain direction. You solve a few puzzles, not hard at all. You give some people some items, they give you some silly quests, but the amount of like nerd culture jokes in here was very charming. I liked it a lot. And I will
It was
say,
super cheesy, which I mean,
super
to me,
cheesy.
that was fun. It was funny.
Now I will say, Ethan, I I may have put on the 3 times damage multiplier because I was like, I'm literally only playing this for the achievements. I don't care.
You know what's funny is I didn't realize you could do those cheats until my 3rd run through the train. So I had done
Oh,
the entire game, the secret ending, all that stuff. And then I got to the 3rd. I went through the train once, went and did the secret ending, went to the train again, went to the train again. I'm like, man, I just can't get past like the 3rd tier of bosses. I don't know how the heck people are supposed to do this. And I looked it up online, different strategies, and somebody on Reddit was just like, just turn on the ×3 damage in the God mode. I'm like, what?
yeah,
And so I spent a solid maybe hour just going through this train, just having an absolute blast, and then going out with all the tickets, buying all the hats. It was a good time.
that's hilarious because as soon as I beat the game and the train opened up, I put on God mode
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't care anymore. I beat the game. Like time for me to just destroy everything.
Did you do the secret ending legit though?
I did no, no, I didn't.
One of the most painful boss fights I've had in a while, because I know you had told me in Discord, yeah, it takes about 2 hours, and I'm playing it. I'm like, there is no way Kevin did this in 2 hours. I was so upset when I figured out that you could do those things. I was
No,
like, oh, man.
I put on God mode for the secret boss fight too because I was literally doing it. I was like, this is the only hard thing in the game. Everything else was like, I don't understand why they made
Yeah,
it so hard. But
there were
that's
some
fine.
difficult
I don't
moments in
care.
that game.
I'm just there for the achievements, and as soon as I can't have it installed still. As soon as they fix these last 2, I'm going and getting that
Exactly.
100%.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I'm really surprised. I have a mini little review going out next week for it. It's very short, just like this game. So it's just a little fun thing I wanted to do. But yeah, Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. Check it out.
Yeah, and I mean it's on Game Pass. There's no reason for you to look to go past it if you're a Game Pass subscriber. I mean that's what it's for. It's
I,
to expose you to games like this, these bite-sized experiences. This is the perfect game for an adult gamer, someone who has a job or has to go to school or has responsibilities. I mean, you could knock this out in one solid night, drink some beers, play this game. You're going to have an absolute blast doing it.
I will say the longer I played, the worse the performance got. Like the
It started chugging.
the home village was like 5 frames a second. I'm like, what is happening?
You could tell things were getting a little rough near the end once you started collecting a bunch of items and stuff, but that's okay. It was part of the charm, I guess you could say.
How much do you think that game costs outside of Game Pass?
Oh, that game, $15.
Yeah, it is $15. Yeah,
15.
I
Yeah,
think
because it's a well-made
but
game. It's a well-made indie game. Like besides that, little hiccup with the FPS and that one of like 20 areas, and the achievements, there's really no issues with it, and it all melds together, and it's a good story. I would pay $15 for this if I knew what I was getting into.
Okay. I think I had a different take in my video, but what else have you been playing?
I got back into MLB 22. We had that conversation last week about MLB 22, and I got the itching for it. So I started a new Road to the Show player, this time a pitcher. My first player was a first baseman, so I was a hitter. I'm a knuckleballer, and just having fun with that. Best baseball sim out there. Like I said, I've said it in the last 2 podcasts, so I'm not going to rehash what I think about the whole game. Go back and look at those if you really want to know. But yeah, just having fun with that. So it's been a lot of grinding on Lego Star Wars, some mindless throwing a baseball in MLB and Turnip Boy. That's been my week.
It's a good week.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID this week, so I've had a bit more time, and this is stupid of me to say. I never want to test positive for COVID.
Right.
But if there was a time I wish it was during a time when there were like games I was really excited.
I know we're in a dry
for.
spell right now.
Yeah, this is not the time to be stuck at home
You
because
couldn't have waited until Starfield dropped or something.
really isn't that much to play right now. Like
Yeah.
next month, there's going to be more for me. June is looking really good. I think
Yeah.
Plague Tale's getting come. I think Plague Tale's in June. So
You think?
I think it is.
You think they're going to drop that on the Xbox showcase?
I think so.
Ooh, that's a big prediction.
They're having a demo at the Tribeca Game Fest, like the 2 days before or something. So I'm like, surprise drop on the 12th.
By the way, I don't see it in the show notes, so I want to say Xbox Showcase, Xbox/Bethesda Showcase. What is it, June 12th?
June 12th.
On a Sunday? We will be live reacting to that. It's going to be an absolute blast. Make sure
100%.
to come here for that.
100%. But the other, so I was looking for something to play. All right. I played Turnip Boy, and I finished that Monday before I got positive. So what I did on Tuesday, I went on my PlayStation Now, my PS5. People, stick with me. All right.
What do you got?
I was like, all right. PS Now is a subscription service. I stacked 2 years of it for the new PS Plus, so I get the highest tier. Wanted to save some money.
Did you see they're not allowing people to do that anymore?
I know.
So you got it right in time. You got it right in time. You're lucky.
I know. I don't feel if I had waited. First of all, if I had waited a few hours after I did it, they shut down the website exploit for the yearly subscriptions. If I had waited a few years, I couldn't even stack at all. Like people have codes that they just can't redeem now. They say it's temporary, but it's definitely until the new service launches, and then like the codes will be useless. Like the PS Now codes aren't a thing. So,
y'all lost. Who have codes you can't do now? Y'all lost.
It sucks. I think it's but I was on there and I was like, you know what I'm gonna play? Shadow Warrior 3.
Ooh.
How
is that? That looked fun.
Never played a Shadow Warrior game. All right.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I was like, this is giving me Doom vibes.
Yes.
And I tell you what, not only did I play it, I beat the entire game in one night.
Oh, it's
on
that
Tuesday.
quick?
It says how long to beat, 5 hours. I think I skipped all the cutscenes because I didn't care.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was like 3-ish, 3.5 maybe.
Okay.
It was a very, very quick game. I think it has, if you want it to be difficult, like if you choose some of the higher difficulties, it could be a very difficult game, because even on easy, which I put it to because I was like, I'm just doing this for fun. It was still a little bit of a challenge. Like some of the enemies are pretty challenging, but it has massive Doom vibes, man. Like the frenetic enemies just continuously spawning, coming at you, the ripping enemies apart and using. What I like about this game is you have finishing moves, right? And big baddies, when you use a finishing move on them, you steal a weapon from them of some sort. So you have like these drill guys, you rip their drill arm off, and then you get to drill through all the other enemies with their arm.
Oh my goodness.
This one enemy, you get to rip like a bomb out of him and throw it, and it basically is a disco ball of lasers that cuts everything else. This game was awesome. I was like, not from a technical standpoint. There's a few like glitches and some, Devolver
that's what I heard.
Yeah, Devolver Digital published it. It's an indie title, but as far as Doom like inspired games go, this was awesome. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun playing this game. So I don't know if it's on Xbox.
I believe it's on Xbox, but it's not on Game Pass, because I remember looking into it, being like, I kind of want to pick this game up, but when they said it wasn't going to be on Game Pass, I'm like, that's not something I'm willing to shell out for right now. But I remember watching those previews, and I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, this looks a lot like Doom, that style of FPS, and it also reminded me a little bit of Atomic Heart, which I know we've only seen previews of that, but it's just wacky enemies, absolute nonsensical stuff going on. So it really attracted me. I was really interested. And, actually, they had Shadow Warriors 2 on Game Pass before.
Really?
And I didn't realize that until it was already on the list for about to go.
Oh.
I'm kind of mad I didn't get it, because I had assumed that this was a full-length like FPS game, like it was a long game.
No.
I didn't know this was like an indie title, so I would have played the second one if I knew that it would have been a quick experience. But I never ended up downloading it, because I think I was playing Elden Ring at the time, which I'm not sacrificing time for that during that time when Elden Ring came out. But yeah, this was an interesting game, and you know, possible future Game Pass edition if they have that relationship with the studio already to put the second one on there. It'd be exciting to see.
I can't say that it's worth. I don't know how much it is. I can't say it's worth it for the length of the game that you'll get. But if it comes to Game Pass, which its PlayStation Now deal expires, I want to say June or July. So maybe after that it'll come to Game Pass. I
Yeah.
would definitely play it. I think it was an absolute blast, man.
You know what? I just thought of it, and I think the reason I didn't buy it is because not only was it not on Game Pass, but they did not offer a physical copy. And you know me, I'm not going to spend money unless it's a physical copy. Like I have to have something in my hands in order to shell out $60. So that's probably one of the reasons why I looked it over. But yeah, this does seem like a game that's going to come to Game Pass at some point, and I'll be thrilled when it does.
Yeah. They're making another. This team is putting out another game, and I think Devolver's publishing it again. It's another indie game. It's literally escaping. Oh, I think it's Cult of the Lamb. I think they're doing Cult of the Lamb.
They're doing Cult of the Lamb?
I think so. If it's the same team, let me check.
If this is the same team, then I'm excited to play Shadow Warrior, because Cult of the Lamb is one of my most hype indie games of this year. I remember seeing that in the Xbox showcase last year, and I lost my mind. I'm like, this is the roguelike that's going to get me off of Binding of Isaac. This is going to be the one that makes it fun for me.
Okay. Okay. Let me see here. It's by Flying Wild Hog.
Okay.
So our games. They're doing Evil West. I think that might be what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Evil West,
which a lot of people are saying good things about from what I've seen from the previews.
From PAX. It's getting
some PAX,
good PAX. It's Kyle. Just like Death Stranding. # wait for Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't. That's a Sony IP, but yeah, Evil West is a game that I'm actually super interested in. PAX East coverage. It's been getting really good preview looks. It is. Yeah, people confused it for Weird West. Evil West is the third-person action adventure shooting game where you're a cowboy, but you're killing like demons and stuff.
Yeah, that's where you look like a badass desperado cowboy with the flat-brimmed hat, and you got the crazy big guns. Yeah, that one. Looks exciting.
I'm not one for westerns, but this game looks so much fun, and I just learned it's co-op. It's co-op, so I'm even more in for it. Like,
I'm in.
It looks dope. Yeah, super excited. It says they're working. It says Trek to Yomi on their list too. Are they working on Trek to Yomi?
Really? They're pumping out stuff if they're working on Trek to Yomi, because that's another one that I'm excited for. That's coming this week or next week or something. It's very soon.
1 week from today.
1 week from today, we're going to be playing Trek to Yomi.
No, it's not. It's not Call of the Lamb. Massive Monster is doing that.
Okay.
So it's Evil West is what? Yeah, Evil West is by Flying Hog. Flying Wild Hog. Trek to Yomi isn't though. Trek to Yomi is. It says Devolver Digital. So developers Flying Wild Hog and Leonard Menciari. So they must be assisting him with it.
Yeah, that's cool. That studio's really.
That's 3 2022 games for that studio.
For an indie studio to pump out quality indie games like that, that's really impressive. You know, they must have some money backing them up.
All I know is, based on my experience with Shadow Warrior 3, I'm in. If Trek to Yomi hits like I think it's going to hit next week, and then Evil West, man, they could be looking at a new fan.
You've been watching the previews for Trek to Yomi, right?
Yeah,
this game looks really, really cool.
I'm just concerned about that it'll feel clunky. That if they nail the combat, that's what because I think style-wise it looks pretty interesting. And I'm willing to give it a chance because it's on Game Pass. So
exactly. Yeah.
Other than that, it's time to talk about Bug Snacks.
Oh no.
Talk about Bug Snacks.
Here we go.
So the Isle of Big Snacks DLC came out today, along with Bug Snacks on Game Pass and Switch and everything that wasn't PlayStation. I already platinumed the game on PlayStation 5, so I just hopped in and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play the DLC. I'm happy to report I have beaten the Isle of Big Snacks DLC.
You're an absolute madman.
That's my third this week. So it's about 2-ish hours long. It's a very, very short DLC. There is 11 big snacks to catch. I think I ended up catching 10 of them because you don't need to catch them all. You just need to complete it.
Kevin, you got to catch them all.
I've already caught their small versions. I don't need to catch the big one. It doesn't add anything. The final boss fight was awesome. The story heartful, and it gets dark as usual. Did you 100% it? Kyle says. I need 2 trophies because I only got the one for completing it. I have to go get 10 hats, which is easy, and then I have to finish furnishing my home, which shouldn't be too hard. So then I will again have all the trophies. But I really like that they separate DLC a trophy list on PlayStation because
yeah, that's something they need on Xbox desperately. I think
I will say this game is also downloaded on Xbox, sitting and waiting for me. So
are you gonna 100% it on Xbox too?
I just might.
You really want to beat me this month in Gamerscore, don't you? You
Listen,
have
man,
to.
I just might do it. Might load up the bug snacks and on PlayStation, get those 2 trophies, and then load it up on Xbox.
All right. Well, I'm starting tonight. Let the race begin. Let's do this.
I was ahead of you for most of it. First of all, I can't win on my list because I've added some people recently, and they get like 4,000 a month. And
That's
I'm
pretty,
like,
consistently 4,000 is pretty nuts. My top is that 7,000 piece that I put in last January, but oof. I don't know about 4,000 a month consistently. Nah, that's not happening.
Yeah, they're out of control. Which props to them. But bug snacks, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at 30 achievements. I already know how to do all of them, so
yeah, that's where you're gonna get me. You know me, I'm gonna want to explore every nook and cranny of this game. And yeah, I am really excited to pick up bug snacks. You know, I've heard nothing but good things from the PlayStation community. People telling me that it's a lot of fun. Like I said in the previous podcast, it's giving me Viva Pinata vibes, which that's a game that I really connected with back in 06. So really excited to pick it up. Give it a shot, especially if it's to compete with you on Gamerscore. Let's do it.
I will. Last thing on bug snacks, I will say is when I was going into the final boss fight for the Isle of Big Snacks, I had a moment where I was forced to look at 2 of my grumpuses. The characters are called grumpuses, and what have I done to them? Is all I could think. Because they were horrifying to look at. They had a Dorito head. They were monstrosities.
This whole game seems like a monstrosity, a weird science experiment gone wrong. So it's exciting.
I don't think the Isle of Big Snacks was as good as I wanted it to be. Unfortunately, it was fine. It was a quick little side thing. But the overall game is really good. So if you're still on the fence, Game Pass, download it, give it a try. It's on PC, cloud, and console.
How long would you say the base game takes, not including the DLC?
Like 7 hours, 8 hours maybe.
So it's a solid 10-hour experience with the DLC.
Probably, yeah. It depends how quick you can go and how fast you can solve the puzzles and figure out how to catch the bug snacks.
Well, if I don't solve a puzzle within the first 10 seconds, I'm Googling it. So I'll get there quick. I don't got time for that.
Okay. All right. Then, yeah, probably might be a little quicker for you then.
Cool.
But yeah, no, it's a fun time. I'm excited to play some more bug snacks until Trek to Yomi. I got a week. I figure I can do it in a week. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure. 10 hours, you're good.
Easy.
You already know how to do everything anyways.
Yeah. And then I'll play Trek to Yomi when that comes out next week. So we got a good time.
So exciting.
And at the end of May, KO the Kangaroo finally has a release date.
You know, I'm excited about that too. I'm interested to see what this is all about because it has a physical copy. I'm buying it.
Oh, what are you getting it on?
Xbox.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing I thought there was a limited run thing for Nintendo.
No, I saw it. They have a physical copy on Xbox, unless I saw it wrong. Unless somebody doctored a picture just to play with my emotions. We'll see.
All I know is the release date got announced the PAX East, and I was like, yes, let's go. And then they put up like an hour worth of gameplay, and I was like, no one wants to see an hour worth of.
Oh, I didn't even check out the gameplay. Like, have you watched it at all?
Yeah, I've seen some of it. I saw a little preview, but I don't need an hour worth of KO the Kangaroo.
But is it actually like a a polished 3D platform.
Oh yeah, look from the looks of it, it looks like a very old school 3D platformer. It looks great. Love it. Can't wait for it. Yeah. PAX East was low key an awesome show. Like if you check out some coverage from it, they had some awesome stuff there.
There was a lot going on at PAX East this year.
Yeah, I want to go next year. I think I've made the decision.
I'll be on the East Coast next year. I'd be down to go down.
I think maybe a little trip for
Project XTalk. We're going down.
XTalk, yeah. Okay. But that's all I've been playing this week. Let us know what you were playing in the chat or the comments below, guys. Chevaroony, rub it in, he says.
Hey, we haven't gone yet. We're working on it, though.
All right. Well, now that we're done with what you're playing, grab a seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. So story number 1. We just got a major Bethesda leak, possibly. This is just a rumor, and it's from an anonymous source, but Skullsy TV, who is a well-renowned leaker in the Bethesda sphere. He leaked a bunch of Starfield stuff before, so he has some credibility, but he says take this with a pinch of salt. Special Nick and Mr. Matty Plays have backed up some of these claims and heard similar information, but essentially, his leak says that 1, Roundhouse is reportedly developing a PvPvE game, which is apparently based on a Marvel IP. The Elder Scroll 6 will be set in Hammerfell. It will have a political system with betrayals, marriage, and factions. It will not have dragons, and it is in the early stages of full development, targeting a 2025-2026 release date. Bethesda Game Studio Austin and Montreal are working on Spy Team, which has been reported in the past. A Mandalorian MMO is in development at ZeniMax Online. A Quake reboot is in talks, and that's all it says. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout remasters via In Exile are happening. And Xbox is apparently shifting resources to assist Bethesda's workloads. So, Ethan, I just went through a bunch of stuff, but we can start wherever you want. What piques your interest the most out of this?
Well, I guess we'll go down the line here because I have a little bit to say about everything. In terms of the Marvel IP being PvPvE, why are they doing Marvel like this? I'm so tired of them trying to attach gimmicks and all these different weird game types that Marvel. I just want a good single-player Marvel experience like Spider-Man on Xbox, for crying out loud. I don't want a Marvel's Avengers. I don't want a PvPvE. I want a Spider-Man. I want a Wolverine. I want these single-player experiences that really give you a rich story in the Marvel universe. So that, not really on my radar. Not really too concerned about it. We'll see what it is when it comes out. In terms of the Elder Scrolls 6, Hammerfell has been a name that's been floating around for probably a couple years now as a potential setting for Elder Scrolls 6, which it'll be really exciting to see. Hammerfell is the homeland of the Red Guards, which that race of people in the Elder Scrolls universe is heavily inspired by Arabic and Persian cultures, which I absolutely adore. Video games that are based in those settings. That's why Assassin's Creed Origins is one of my favorite Assassin's Creed of all time, because it is set in Egypt. So I'm really excited that we get to explore Hammerfell. That's super intense. In terms of a political system with betrayals and all this stuff, that really interests me because I remember my favorite parts about Skyrim was like the negotiations that you did on High Hrothgar with the Greybeards and the Imperials and the Thalmor and all them when you were doing negotiations. So I would love to see them expand on that more. The fact that it'll not have dragons tells me sort of the timeline. This is going to be after the death of Talos, so we're not getting into the ancient timeline of Tamriel in this game yet, which is something I would really love them to visit one day. But we are not going that far back in time. So the setting really could be anywhere. It could be set in the Oblivion Crisis, where we have Marin's Dagon opening up portals all around Tamriel. This could be set, before or after the Skyrim Civil War. We don't have an idea yet on what the timeline is, so I'm interested to see where this lands. And yeah, 2025, 2026, that's exciting. That gives me 2-3 years to play through all of Starfield, learn everything I can about it, and then I'll hop on Elder Scrolls 6. So really super stoked about that. Mandalorian MMO, not a big MMO.
Before we move on.
Okay, yeah.
I will say I have no idea what you are talking about. Holy hell, man.
Oh man, I
What did you
told you I
just
was gonna geek
say to
out.
me?
I listen, anyone listening out there knows Elder Scrolls, you know what I just said. Anybody else, there's the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages online. It is a full wiki of all the Elder Scrolls lore, all the books, all the characters, everything. You can read about every single thing in the Elder Scrolls universe. I encourage you guys to go look at
Look,
that. Look into Hammerfell and its history. It's super
I'm
fun.
over here like I've played Oblivion, I've played Skyrim, and I haven't the slightest idea.
Did you read all the books in those games though?
No, no, I didn't. It's Kyle sums up my thoughts perfectly. Today I learned there's a story in Elder Scrolls. Meanwhile, I just slashed a monk in the back and forged dragon armor.
Look, that's what most people play it for. I get it. But I'm telling you, this is from years of me sitting on the Elder Scrolls wiki, hitting random page and reading everything I can. It's something I'm super passionate. I mean, Elder Scrolls 4 was my first 360 game. I mean, I can say with confidence that Elder Scrolls 4 is what made me passionate about video games. So Elder Scrolls is definitely my realm of expertise here. Super excited for it. I can't get enough news. The only issue I have with this though,
There's
and
no dragons. I'm with you.
no, I'm fine not getting
We
attacked by
need
dragons every 10 minutes.
dragons.
No. After 300 hours of Skyrim, getting attacked by a dragon every 10 minutes gets sick and tiring. I'm tired of dragons. Get rid of them. We don't need them anymore. But I'm not really a fan that this leaked. I wanted this to be revealed to me in a big setting, like when we were live reacting to the Xbox showcase. I would have loved to be there with you guys as we all learned together that Hammerfell was going to be the setting to Elder Scrolls. These leaks are awesome because we get great information out of them, but at the same time, this is really spoiling a lot and sucking the air out of these amazing decisions that these game companies are making that they would normally make a big hype about. So I'm hoping this doesn't hurt any presentation they have in the future, with reveals and such, because now they're going to, build up this amazing thing, say we're doing this in Hammerfell, and everyone's going to be like, we've known that for a year. So it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's nice to get confirmation because Hammerfell is one of the names that's been floating around the last couple of years as the setting of Elder Scrolls 6.
I think leaks are sometimes a mixed bag. Like there are
Right.
definitely leaks where I'm like, you didn't need to report that. Like the Dead Space remake, when that got leaked, they didn't need to report that. You could have just waited. I think it was literally a few days, and then we would have known. So for things like that, I think leaks should hold off. For information like this, where it could or could not be true, we're all this is speculative. It's coming from an anonymous source. Whether things change or they're true or not remains to be seen. But
the thing about this leak is that Hammerfell specifically is something that's been going around in circles for years.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, and as somebody who's consistently engrossed in the Elder Scrolls community, I'm always doing stuff with it. I know this is a name that's been brought up before. That brings some credence to these leaks. So I err on the side of I think this is a legitimate leak here.
Yeah. It's certainly possible. Listen, I'm not even going to try to go toe to toe with you in Elder Scrolls stuff because apparently I don't know anything. All right,
I know a few things about a few things.
Yeah. I do want to. Spy Team is a game that the trademark is from years ago. It's been re-upped. It seems like that's happening. I don't know much about it, but that's been previously reported on. I want to talk to you about the Mandalorian MMO that apparently is in development as ZeniMax Online. How do you feel about that?
So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this because one, there's already a Star Wars MMO going on currently. That's the Old Republic, which is an offshoot of Knights of the Old Republic, which is one of the greatest RPG video games of all time. MMOs not really my thing. I've tried Elder Scrolls Online just because I love Elder Scrolls. I've tried the Old Republic just because I love Star Wars and I love Knights of the Old Republic. I played it for probably 5 hours, said, oh, it's a cool little thing, and then I left. So not something I'm super stoked about. I'm interested to see the setting and how they're going to do the story in this MMO, how they're just going to base it all around the Mandalorian. I just don't see how it's going to be in an MMO setting because it's a story about an individual who's on an adventure, Like that seems like a single player experience to me, doesn't it? It doesn't really seem like an MMO unless they're just going to make a traditional MMO, have you be any Star Wars character just within the settings of where the Mandalorian took place and in the same timeline. I don't know. So not as weird as it is to say for me, this Star Wars IP is not something that excites me, which is something very rare for me to say. So I think it's just based on the fact that it's an MMO.
Cry Lauren 11 says Elder Scrolls lore is top tier. Ethan knows what's up. Thanks for stopping by and shout out. He apparently does know what's up, and I don't. So
we should do a podcast just on Elder Scrolls lore. I could probably get 100 episodes out of it.
Oh God. Oh man.
It'll be fun. We'll call it Teaching Kevin Elder Scrolls.
Podcast idea though.
There you go.
Episodes we each take turns teaching something about the a game series to someone,
and then I'm just gonna be reading Daedric religion stuff.
That's
going.
It's gonna be. That's going on the whiteboard. That's going on the whiteboard. All right.
Going on the whiteboard.
That's going on the whiteboard. So I also share the concern about the Mandalorian MMO, which I don't know if it's happening or not. I've seen a few people in the community say it's not. But if it did happen, I'm very skeptical because, as you said, this is a show about one person. It's about the Mandalorian. So how do you take that and expand it to a game where you can have hundreds playing at the same time? It doesn't really make sense to me. And then I go into what we talked about last week, Star Wars fatigue, right? We talked about it on Extra, where we already have, I think, 6 or so Star Wars games in development.
Yeah.
If this one is true, that's just another Star Wars game. And this one is in an area where we don't really need a Star Wars game.
And like I mentioned before, we have an active Star Wars MMO going on right now. It is over 10 years old, but it is still an active MMO that's going on.
Absolutely. I think if we're moving down the list, Quake reboot makes a lot of sense. Highly speculated.
That's cool.
We've been waiting for a Quake reboot. They did those remasters last year around QuakeCon.
I played them. They're fun.
Listen, if it's I've never played Quake, but if you give me a Quake reboot in the Doom Eternal style, I'm there for it.
Oh, you're thinking like a 3D Quake?
Absolutely.
That would be fun to see. That would be fun to see.
I'd be absolutely down for that. I think that the teams at Bethesda are just so talented with first-person shooters like that. And then the Elder Scrolls and Fallout remasters via In Exile. It depends on how much work it is. I don't think those are something we super need. But I do understand there might be a need for it because we don't know when the next mainline entries are coming. Those are years away for both series.
Right. For Elder Scrolls and Fallout remasters, I mean, it's something that I've thought about a lot. Like, when are they going to start doing this? Because this is a cash cow that they could hit. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind could use a facelift. I'm telling you that right now. That is a clunky and old game. It's super fun. Don't get me wrong, but it is clunky and it is old. All right. But to see them port, maybe all they would have to do to get me back in is port Morrowind into Unreal 4 or Unreal 5. And I'm there. Remaster the graphics and give me the base game. That would be super exciting. I mean, they have so many amazing Fallout 3. You put Fallout 3 on Unreal 4, give me some of those modern conveniences of Fallout 4. I mean, I would be absolutely ecstatic to play through that game again. You know, they have amazing IPs. They've been sitting on them for a while. I think it's time to start remastering some of them. It makes sense.
I think I did the breakdown right. We get Starfield this year. We get Elder Scrolls 6 in 2026. The next Fallout game won't be until 2030 something.
It's going to be a while until the next Fallout. Yeah.
So I think remasters make a lot of sense unless we're getting the Obsidian Fallout Vegas 2, Fallout New Vegas 2, like has been rumored. Right. So I think there's potential for everyone to win here. It would make In Exile look good, who they are working on a game, but they haven't, things haven't really blown up for them. Right. Post-acquisition. But
exactly.
Xbox is apparently shifting resources, like it says, to assist Bethesda with these workloads, which I think is
awesome.
Great. Bethesda is a huge hitter, and you want their output to be more consistent. We don't want to have to wait for these big titles. Xbox has the manpower. Most of their studios are in good shape, apart from 343 and some select other teams. But the vast majority are looking good. They're bringing in more with the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Maybe some of those talents. Hey, Vicarious Visions, you're supporting Blizzard. Maybe you can support Bethesda too. Or although I wish you would just become a new, a separate studio again, but that's just me. But these are the conversations I'm sure are happening in the background at Xbox.
Right. And this is one of those things. I know there's a lot of detractors who aren't fans of consolidation. They don't want to see some of these companies get too big. But this is the benefit that we're seeing out of these acquisitions, is the cross-pollination between the different studios and the different people that have different skill sets being able to come in and help each other out and pump out incredible games that are finished when they come out, that come out in a timely manner, that are just great experiences. So this is definitely a huge reason why I think a lot of these companies wanted to be acquired by Microsoft and decided to join up with the team, because now they got an army behind them of developers, and it's exciting to see. And it'll also just give more experience to more developers. I mean, this is great for a developer. If you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, I mean, you have so many more opportunities now than you ever did just working at your dev studio before. It's super exciting to see.
Yeah, you could be working on numerous projects, way more than your small little bubble before you were acquired. So exciting. We'll see. Hopefully, some of those are true. I'm sure not everything we just read was true, but we'll stay tuned. But we can move into story number 2. And this one's not as exciting. This is the Halo Season 2 roadmap has been revealed. So, guys. Let me just get the info. 343 has provided the roadmap for Halo Infinite Season 2 Lone Wolves, launching May 3rd, which is in just a couple days. You will get a new arena map named Catalyst, along with a big team battle map named Breaker. You will get King of the Hill, Land Grab, and Last Spartan Standing, as we've previously discussed. You will also get a new 100 tier battle pass that, if you buy the premium version of and complete it, you will earn enough for the next battle pass, which great, smart move. That's the standard for battle passes these days. And it should have been there at launch, but it is now. We will get a narrative and non-narrative event at certain weeks. But, however, not all is good. The season will once again be 6 months long, running until November 8th. And campaign co-op, along with campaign mission replay, both have a projected launch of late August, with a Forge open beta scheduled for September. So, Ethan, I'm going to take the lead on this one. This is hard for me to take. I know that they are working on getting more content out. They brought in certain affinity, as we've discussed. But when they told us that campaign co-op and campaign mission replay, something they've been talking about for months, and we're like, it's coming in Season 2. When they said it wasn't going to be available at launch, I was thinking, okay, worst case scenario, it's end of May, early June, because maybe they need another month to finish it off. I did not realize we were talking May, June, July, and August. They need an additional 4 months, almost an entire another season, 4 out of the 6 months, to get these features implemented in the game. The game realistically could be out almost a year, and we would still not have the ability to replay missions, play co-op with our friends. And it just gets me like, I'm glad they're adding all this. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to finally play campaign co-op. I'm excited to dive back in, but I wanted to do it in May, June, and then maybe end of the year we were talking DLC, going with your boys, play the new stuff. There is no way we are getting DLC this year. I am fully confident we are not seeing any campaign DLC.
No.
And it's just disappointing. I'm disappointed.
It's more and more you think back and you realize, man, this should have just been in development for another year. Like I could have gone another year without Halo, and I think the vast majority of people in the gaming community could have gone another year without Halo. And if we got a Halo, how it should be, You know, it would be a completely different story, but it's really unfortunate here. I do not care about season 2. I'm not going to buy this battle pass. You know, I'll play it just to check it out because there is new game modes. I'm excited about that to at least get some fresh content in the Halo ecosystem. But you're telling me they're devoting all their resources to just implementing mechanics that should have been in the game in the first place? It's tough for me knowing that I'm not going to see new content or good content, you know, out of this game for probably another year and a half, if that. You know, it may be longer than that. Who knows? So
I think it really depends on certain affinity coming in and like gelling and hitting the ground running with them. Like we know they're working on that battle royale mode, which is great. It's definitely not the only thing they're working on. So it really just, to me, how can they integrate and can they start pumping it out? Like maybe season 3, the narrative changes. Things look a lot different. They're getting content out so faster, but my initial thought is 2023 is where Halo Infinite is really going to be finished.
I'm not a developer, and I don't know how these things work. I don't know how hard you have to work to implement these things, but it's really hard for me to swallow that it takes you 8 months to implement a replay function in a campaign mission. I mean, I'm doing that in Lego Star Wars right now. You just walk up to a little glowing thing and it says, "Do you want to replay this mission?" Yeah, I'd love to replay this mission. Let's do it. You know, that it's just something that should be in a game. Like, I understand not putting in Forge mode and some of these bigger modes because they wanted to get it out earlier, get it out in the ecosystem, but just the simple thing like replaying a mission. Like, I am sitting on an achievement right now in Halo Infinite where I have to collect all of the banished data logs. And I missed one. I missed one in one mission.
You missed one in the missions.
In a mission. And I'm not replaying the game to get one. It was like one of the end game missions too. I think it was one of the last levels where you go to that big island off to the right or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's constantly frustrating to me. I want to see them succeed. I desperately want to see them implement some of these mechanics in. We need Forge mode. We need custom games. We need more game modes and maps to revitalize this multiplayer system. You can't just keep throwing skins at us. You can't just keep charging us $20 for armor sets and expect us to be happy. There is right now around 4,000 players playing Halo Infinite. That is pathetic numbers for a brand new Halo game, one that should be in the top tier of FPSs right now. It's really sad to see. You know, every time we talk about Halo, I get fired up. It's just sad. It really is sad to see.
It is. I'm excited for the stuff they are adding, but in my opinion, is it going to keep me playing 6 months? No, it's not. It's not going to keep me playing probably 2 months. I will probably hop in every once in a while and play because there's just not enough there for me to stay engaged. And the fact that they're adding 2 maps and I don't expect any more. I do not think we're going to see more maps until season 3. I think we get these 2.
It is telling that I told myself in February, I will jump back into Halo Infinite every time they add something new. And I have not jumped back into Halo Infinite since then. Yeah. You're not going to keep recycling the 10 Rye event and keep me satisfied. I'm not going back to play Fiesta 100 times to get this samurai armor. I don't care anymore.
I did see the events for season 2 that's mapped out so far.
Yeah.
They were like 2 or 3 weeks long. They weren't recycled. So
that's a step forward. I'm happy about that. Yeah.
And apparently there's the narrative one. I don't know how that's going to tie in or if I even care about the narrative to multiplayer, but it's something new.
It's something. It's something.
Yeah. But no, it's overall, I'm very disappointed. When I saw that, I was like, this is incredibly discouraging. Like,
but I will say the game's there. They're working on it.
Yeah.
I feel like in 2 years time or 1 year, maybe even if we're being generous, we're going to have a Halo game that I love to jump on every night and play. If I could jump on and play Griffball or Race and Mongoose or play Duck Hunt with sniper rifles, you know, every night with my buddies, I'm here for it. But until then, it's not for me.
Well, we can only hope. But we can move into our final story for the day. A little short podcast today, guys. Not much going on. That's because it's almost time for showcase season, as we mentioned. Xbox's showcase is announced. Yeah, it is. I'm excited to start live reacting to a bunch of stuff. But Story number 3, Ubisoft could be next on the acquisition block. So, a Ubisoft buyout could be on the horizon, but not by Xbox or PlayStation. According to Bloomberg, Ubisoft is attracting takeover interest from buyout funds, several private equity firms, including Blackstone and KKR, which I've never heard of, are rumored to be interested. While Ubisoft has declined to comment on this and no serious negotiations appear underway, it is worth noting that Ubisoft stock prices have fallen massively over the last few years. And according to a recent report, the next iterations of major franchises like Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, and Far Cry are further off than initially expected. So essentially what this means is it's not like Xbox and PlayStation buying something. A private equity would come in and buy out all the shares, and then they'd be like, we own you now. We're going to make changes here. We're going to cut. Our only focus is making you more profitable and then reselling you to get more of our money back. So these firms do not care about the games industry.
No,
they
don't.
only care about flipping a profit, and they see Ubisoft as a way to do that. Now, I think, do I want Ubisoft to be bought? No. But could this potentially clean up some of their issues? You know, they've had allegations of sexual harassment, poor leadership. I don't know. It's possible. But what do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, it could clean up areas like that, like you said, which that would always be good because obviously, like you said, these investment firms, they don't want a broken product. They don't want a product that has all these things hanging over their head when they resell. This makes sense. Like you said, Ubisoft stock price has been tanking. They're cheap right now. People want to buy it. People want to buy it so that they can make some money on it. And Ubisoft is probably severely undervalued with the games that they have and the IPs that they have in terms of their stock price. So this would make complete sense to buy Ubisoft outright for any of these investment firms. Like you said, though, these investment firms are not part of the video game industry. It's they're gonna want to do everything they can to make money, which is not a good thing for us. We're gonna start seeing a lot more microtransaction stuff, a lot more shady business stuff. It's sad because Assassin's Creed is a very special video game series to me. I played every single Assassin's Creed ever made, and that's a lot. And I have copies of pretty much all of them behind me right now. Ubisoft is such a special company to me. I absolutely adore their video games. They've gone down a dark path, recently with Valhalla. It was definitely the weakest of the modern 3 Assassin's Creed games that they've made. I think they've been going downhill for a while in terms of content. Far Cry 6, it was a fun Far Cry game, but it was no different from any other Far Cry game, and their DLCs were terrible. This is a company that just got way too big for itself, and they started making games that were way too big, and they lost track of, why they started it in the first place. They lost track of how to make an amazing video game, which is really, really sad knowing their history.
So I just Googled Ubisoft stock prices, and now I'm not a stockbroker myself here, but it says $8.66 US.
That is grossly undervalued. To buy them outright right now at that price a share, they're probably going to buy it at a little more. Like, they're not going to buy it at that price, these equity firms. They're going to buy it higher, probably like $12 or $13 a share. But they could make that money back probably 4 times over. If they can get Ubisoft to a point where it was before, pumping out quality content and people being a part of the Ubisoft ecosystem.
It's Kyle says Valhalla is one of the worst Assassin's Creed games, period.
I could agree with him on that. When I think back to all of the original games, when I break them up between the original Assassin's Creeds and the modern 3, which are Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. The worst one of the originals, in my opinion, is Assassin's Creed 3, but even that to me was super fun. That's the one that took place in the American Revolution, and you met George Washington. I absolutely adored that game, but that to me was the weakest of all of the original ones. In terms of the modern 3, Valhalla is definitely the weakest one, and to me, I'd rather play Assassin's Creed 3 than Valhalla. So they, and it's weird to say because I've sunk over 150 hours into Valhalla, so I guess it's hard for me to say because I just love Assassin's Creed and I love that whole Ubisoft, go out and collect stuff. I just love stuff like that.
So Ethan, it says their market cap is 5.3 billion euros.
I don't know anything. I don't know enough about stocks to know what a market cap is. So
okay.
I don't know.
I think that means like that's kind of what they're
maybe
around what you would buy them for. Probably more, because I think it depends. Because
I cannot imagine that Activision Blizzard sold for 60 billion and Ubisoft wouldn't sell for anything less than maybe 40 billion. Ubisoft is massive.
I don't know about that.
Ubisoft is massive. It's a huge game company.
I will tell you right now, Activision Blizzard's stock price is 76.70. So about 10, almost 10 times as much as Ubisoft's.
Well, that's why I say that I think Ubisoft is severely undervalued.
And their market cap is 59.9 billion.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I think Ubisoft is really undervalued right now. So that's why I said it makes perfect sense for people to go out and buy it. And God, I mean, for a price tag of 4 or 5 billion, come on, Sony, Microsoft, anybody, go save this company. Take it away.
Sony, please listen.
I don't care if it's Sony. Do it.
Sony, not Xbox. Sony, I'm begging you, please. Mainly because I don't want these garbage games on Xbox.
No, you know what? Just because of that, Xbox, buy them. I'm calling Phil Spencer right now. Hello, Phil.
I just
go buy Ubisoft.
Oh, you got Phil Spencer?
Yeah, I got.
No, I'm very much. Ubisoft has not, as anyone that's listened to me know, Ubisoft has not made a good game since 2013 with Rayman Legends. They've had a few flashes in the pan. Rainbow Six Siege was decent. Immortals Phoenix Rising had some promise, except for the open world Ubisoftness of it. If it was just a linear story game, great game. But
if we weren't already an hour into this podcast, all right, I would go off on you. But we'll save this topic for a special podcast, maybe for Patreon. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe. I listen. Look,
whole Ubisoft episode.
Well, I got a show in my mind, all right, and we'll talk offline because we got some things cooking. You guys don't even know what's coming. But
we're sizzling over here. We're cooking.
A show where like someone brings a topic and has to like convince the others, or like we fight against some sort of like debate show. You know what I'm talking about?
You're going to see actual violence on this podcast. It's going to be a great time.
That's just one of my ideas. All right. I got that in my brain. But anyway, guys, I don't like Ubisoft. I'm not over here begging Xbox or PlayStation to go save them from this private equity firm. If it happens, it really does not matter to me. The only thing I care about is if the developers then get treated better and maybe their games improve. Because right now they're on a trajectory that like does not interest me. Their games are falling flat, and I think people are getting sick of them. I think over the last year, people have realized like this is just what Ubisoft is. Like
people are getting sick of them, and I'm a perfect example of that. I'm somebody who has been a Ubisoft loyalist since childhood. I absolutely adore Ubisoft, and Valhalla and Far Cry 6 disappointed me beyond belief. I enjoyed them for what they were, but I could recognize as a Ubisoft fan, man, they lost their way. They don't know what they're doing anymore.
Find my mute button. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Dexter, Wayworn around anymore? Not today. He had to switch his work schedule.
He abandoned us.
Yeah. So he will be back. We're talking. We're
making some switches and swappers and stuff like that. We'll get everyone back on.
Yeah, that's right. He's coming back. Don't worry about it. At some point, but yeah, he's probably working right now. Stupid people caring about money. I don't.
Yeah. Careers. Who needs that?
Right? This guys, we need commitment here. Okay.
Stay home all day and play video games. Come on.
That's right. I don't understand. UBI now. Am I right, guys? UBI. Yang Gang. What did we talk about? Ubisoft and how they suck.
Ubisoft.
But
no, how they're great, but they're falling from grace. That's what we're
garbage. Yeah. No, we're on the same page. We're on you and me right here. We're meeting in the middle.
We'll save this for later.
We're meeting in the middle. No, I think they could use some assistance. I don't know if this is the way they do it. What I would like to see is maybe Ubisoft goes to another publisher and is like, let's merge or work together, right?
That would be beautiful. Yeah. Anything, really. I need this back. For those of you watching or listening on audio, I am holding up a copy of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the greatest Assassin's Creed of all time. And I need this Ubisoft back. I need this Ubisoft back.
I just maybe go talk to like EA, right? Like I'm trying to think of publishers that like that are fine, that like
I
would
wouldn't
work
want.
with them.
I mean, EA's potential, but I don't know if anybody really wants to touch Ubisoft right now. They're a one-trick pony. You know what I mean? I just don't know. And by the way, my copy of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, if you look, it's the GameStop edition.
Ooh,
Yeah.
oh. So no,
You're
okay.
horrified, Kevin. I know.
Off topic. Okay, so I don't collect personal games myself. I'm gonna stop the scrolling because we're not talking about the story's over, but this is how we're gonna end the show with a little tangent.
Oh, no.
Off topic. Videos I really like watching on YouTube are like GameStop hauls of physical copies.
Yeah.
So Mr. Matty Plays, he has a retro rebound channel, and he is like, I spent $100 on GameStop. It was so ugly it froze the show.
Your computer just couldn't handle the beauty of a GameStop edition
didn't
video
freeze
game.
for me. But anyway, so I really like watching videos of people opening GameStop games they ordered online and seeing what so you either get like the original packaging and it looks great, like maybe it has the manual in it. It's like,
or you get a piece of gum.
This is a great haul. Or you get like the no artwork, just says GameStop with the text name on it.
It's beautiful. You gotta have one. Everyone's got to have one.
Yeah. Oh, disgusting.
Call of Duty 2, big red one, original Xbox copy, GameStop.
That's
generic
disgusting.
Case. It's beautiful.
Or they'll send you cases that are cracked, and then you have cases with like stickers on them, and then I have to watch the YouTubers
That's
like
the history.
peel the stickers off.
That's history, Kevin. That's what that is. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
So I was gonna ask you, like, okay, so you collect game. Do you care about the cases? Like, you gonna go track down original cases or something?
I would prefer a pristine case, obviously. Like, I would prefer to have a sealed video game over a broken one. But, my collection is so full of old games that I had as a kid, and, they're beat the hell up. The plastic's all flaking off, they're getting old. Some of them have stains on them, coffee stains, stuff like that. So it's not a huge deal to me. I'd like to think it adds character to the collection. Okay. I'm not planning on reselling this stuff for the rest of my life. You're burying me with these. You're gonna light me on fire in a Viking rowboat thing, whatever the hell they called those.
I'd probably just take them. I'd probably just be like, he's dead.
Just dig me up.
You don't know any better. No, that's just a weird little YouTube hole I've been going down recently of watching people. Something about like seeing their reactions of like being horrified about like cases. I'm just like,
some pretty terrifying things.
How could they do that?
Never order from GameStop online. Just don't do it. Go to the store. Don't do it. Do pick up in store if you absolutely can't stand talking to a person.
Well, enough about GameStop, because I actually like my local GameStop. They always treat me right. Ethan, where can people find you?
They can find me at WhiteCedar1 on Twitter and Gravy3448 on Xbox.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1-7I and an 0-7A. Follow us at Project XTalk to stay up to date with all of our latest videos. And guys, let me tell you, we got some stuff cooking. Stay tuned. The future is very bright. You're gonna see some stuff. And that's all I'm gonna say. But until next time, we'll see you. Goodbye.
Peace.